When China devalues their currency against the US dollar, it can hurt us a little bit. But when they devalue their yuan against the dollar while our dollar is weak, that's pretty bad. Because China is the world's second largest economy on the planet. They are a major importer and investor around the world. When they have a weaker currency, it can be good for them to an extent because it increases their exports, but they reduce their purchasing of anything that is priced in US dollars, which means it leads to an even greater decrease in China's imports on US goods and services, whatever is left after these ridiculous tariffs. That's bad for US exports and manufacturing because we are the world's second largest exporter and manufacturer. It helps our economy. We kind of need it. It also means that China will be buying less of any type of US equities, stocks. It also means a decrease in purchasing US bonds, namely treasury bonds, which is how the US government funds itself. Aside from taxes, of course, but we are at a $2 trillion deficit every year for the past couple years. But right now, US treasuries are not in demand. In fact, China, which is the second largest holder of US debt, Japan, and a couple of other countries who are major holders have been dumping billions of dollars of US treasuries onto the market, and they are not being soaked up. When there's not such a demand for US Treasury bonds, the government has to offer a higher interest rate that they have to pay in order to get that debt. It costs them more money. It's already too much for us to pay. When the stock market sees a lot of weaknesses and corrections, that's something that can be easily remedied. That's not the case for bond markets, especially with US Treasuries. And since China has been dumping tens of billions of dollars of US Treasury bonds, I don't know how likely it is that they're going to be very eager to buy new ones, especially with a devaluing yuan currency. There is another benefit that China gets from devaluing their yuan against the dollar. They get more access to the world market since their imports become not just cheaper for the US, but for everybody, including Japan, which is seeing their currency rise against the dollar. So Chinese goods are that much cheaper for the world's third largest economy. While Japan and a lot of Western allies are a little hesitant to increase trade with China, they have more reason to do so because of the US's economic hostility against pretty much everybody. I am the Geo Husar, but this is my alt account, the Alt Husar. So if you are following my main, make sure that you like, share, comment, follow, and if you want to be so bold, download this post to increase the engagement.